Hello my viewers, welcome back to the channel. By the video title, you know what this video is about. Today we're discussing, of course, my top 32 quarterbacks, starting quarterbacks in the league. I'm ranking them from the best to the worst quarterback that's starting out of all the 32 quarterbacks. I did a list like this last year before training camp, and I also did a list like this, I think it was the year before last as well. So I thought I'd do it around a time where it's like training camp time and preseason time. So without further ado, I'm going to dive into it, starting off first with 20 to 32. So let me know down below what you guys think about the list. Leave your comments, your feedback. If you think somebody's too high on the list, somebody's too low on the list, let me know down below. And I'll see you guys in the next little thing right here, which I'm about to get to right now. Okay, starting off first from 32 to 20. At 32, we have Tyler Shaw. And actually, before I get into that, this is my tier list right here. That is starters, but might not be starters all season. Now, some of these guys could be starters all season, but some of these guys might not be starters all season, depending on how things happen. Of course, the young guys on the list, of course, probably be starting like that, like the second year or first year. But some of these guys could be not starting like that, depending on how things kind of shape out. Because some of these guys got some backups that could take their spot if they're not playing too well. But starting off first at 32, we have Tyler Shaw. Tyler Shaw, of course, from the Saints. They drafted him. I feel like he got drafted way too high. He was a second-round pick. I thought Saints was going to get probably Shedeur Sanders or somebody. The guy is Tyler Shaw. He's all right from Louisville, but he's been in a lot of different teams. A lot of different teams, put in college for a while. So we'll see how he looks once he get out there. But I got him ranked 32nd. I don't really have a lot of faith in him, but maybe he go out there and do amazing. You never know. 31, I have Joe Flacco. He's the second oldest quarterback, I think, right behind Aaron Rodgers in this league. Joe Flacco is still pretty solid enough to go out there and be your starter. And we see him do some nice things before. He was with the Browns last time. Now he's with the Browns again. But last year with the Colts, he was all right when he stepped in and made some plays, of course, for them. But Joe Flacco is a little older, of course. Mobility is not the same. But he does have moments to go out there and make some plays, too. So I think he's around that range where he should be. He could possibly move up on this list. You can kind of have him a little higher, maybe at 30 or 29. But I'm going to keep him at 31. At 30, I have Drake May. Drake May, of course, young quarterback from the Patriots. He threw 15 touchdowns last year. Had some turnovers, of course, as well as last year. Missed some plays, missed some throws here and there. But, he was playing on a team that was rebuilding. So it's kind of hard for him to go out there and try to burden all the stuff. Now everybody can go out there and be Andrew Luck or Jay Daniels and just go out there and be MVP candidate your first year. But Drake May did pretty solid. I think he'll probably improve more and more, but I have him at 30. At 29, I have J.J. McCarthy from the Vikings. I know he haven't played a snap yet. So people are like, why you get him higher than what's his name? But he has a lot of talent around him. He got Justin Jefferson, T.J. Hockenson, Jordan Addison. He got all these different individuals. Aaron Jones is back. I think he signed a one-year deal too. So you got him as well. So you got all these different individuals around you. Kevin O'Connell is calling your plays. We know exactly what J.J. McCarthy was in Michigan. He played pretty well. I think with the Vikings, he'll do pretty well too. So, yeah, I got him at 29. At 28, I have Cam Ward. Cam Ward, the first pick of the draft. Strong arm, big quarterback, of course, as well. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Matthew Stafford when I watch him. But a little bit more mobile than Matthew Stafford. But he's not really a dual threat type quarterback. It's kind of like Michael Penix Jr. They have the speed, but they're not really a super dual threat where they're doing some crazy stuff. They mostly do their damage in the pocket. But Cam Ward kind of reminds me of Matthew Stafford in his throwing motions, having that strong arm and that big size as well like that. And the different arm angles can make plays and stuff. He put up the Titans right now, so we'll see the Titans how they do this season. And then next year how they build upon things. But they should do a pretty good job. I'm at 28. At 27, I have Anthony Richardson / Daniel Jones, kind of, because I don't know who's going to start. I don't know if it's going to be Daniel Jones starting or Richardson starting, but whoever starts, I feel like they'd be in the 27th spot. And Richardson is one of those guys who could possibly not be starting the whole season if he is the official starter right now. But, yeah, it's going to be very interesting because the injuries he have, we know he have potential and talent. Like I mentioned before, a few years back, I said that he would be the best quarterback from his draft class. It was C.J. Stroud, Anthony Richardson, Bryce Young, Will Levis. I said Anthony Richardson, if he reaches potential, he can be the best quarterback from his draft class because he's 6'5", strong arm, dual threat ability. I feel like if he can master that and get to the level, he can be like a Josh Allen type. But injuries and inconsistencies have kind of plagued him so far, and he hasn't really played a full season yet. I don't think the games combined he played has been a full season either. So, he's been in and out with injuries and all things that's happened to him. C.J. Stroud been playing very good. His counterpart Bryce Young even picked it up too as well, started playing very good at the end of the season. So hopefully Anthony Richardson can catch up and just get on track. But Daniel Jones is a guy who could possibly take his spot. So we'll see what happens with that. At 26, I got Michael Penix Jr. He played a few games last year, and he looked pretty good. He looked pretty good last year. making plays for the Falcons. The Falcons knew they wanted him. They traded up to get him after they signed Kirk Cousins, which is still crazy. I feel like you should just traded up and got Michael Penix Jr. and then you could have used that money you gave Kirk Cousins for something else. But Michael Penix Jr. Went out there and played well when he stepped in. I like that game he played against the Commanders when they was going back and forth. They tried to keep the Falcons' playoff hopes alive, and the Commanders are trying to solidify and get their playoff submitted. Like they're trying to make sure they get a what's the word I'm looking for? They're trying to make sure they clinch. There we go. Clinch their playoff spot in that game, and that was a good game with the overtime and stuff that happened. Jaden Daniels went on the field and got the touchdown, but Michael Penix Jr. showed a lot of clutchness in that game. He showed a lot of the things you cannot teach, the intangibles that you cannot teach from the quarterback position, and he went out there and played well. I got him at 26 right now. 25, I got Bryce Young. I love how Bryce Young got benched, and he didn't let that get to his head or anything. He came back out there, and he started balling out. He started dealing, and he started playing the style of football we want him to play. Being quick, being fast-paced and stuff as well, not overthinking things, and going out there using your speed and mobility as well. And he played very well. If the Panthers can build upon this season could be a pretty good year for them. You never know. So I think Bryce Young has done a good job in developing and playing well. So I got him at 25 on the list. 24, I got Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams' numbers wasn't too bad, but I feel like he tried to do a little too much at times, on the field. Kind of like you did at college a lot, but college is different. You can go out there, spin around, twist around, throw the ball behind your back and do different things, of course, because everybody in college is not going to make the NFL. But everybody in the NFL is already here. They've been there, All-American teams. They've been Pro Bowlers in the NFL, All Pros, and they've been top-level guys. So I feel like Caleb Williams is out to learn how to kind of settle in and be more patient and stuff, and try to make a big play out of nothing all the time too. And also, of course, he had bad coaching last year a little bit too. Now he's getting Ben Johnson, because that's his coach, his offensive play caller as well. So he should be doing pretty good. Caleb Williams, I got him at 24. At 23, I have Justin Fields on this list. Justin Fields showed some pretty good stuff last year with the Steelers. Now, of course, he missed some throws here and there down the field. His deep ball down the field wasn't very consistent, but his ability to score in the red zone, he had 10 total touchdowns to just one turnover last year. He had a 400-plus yard game when he played against the Colts, and he went 4-2 as a Steelers starter last year. He played some pretty good football, including starting off 3-0. He did a pretty good job. He played well. He played smart. He uses legs to make plays and stuff as well. So I think now with the Jets, he have more leeway a little bit as well. Got a new coach there as well. We'll just see how things kind of go with him. But I got him at 23. And at 22, I have the future Hall of Famer, Russell Wilson. Now, I know he's a future Hall of Famer, but a little older. And, his play style is what it is. He's going to take he don't really do a lot of what's-the-names. He don't really do a lot of takedowns here and there. He's mostly just going for the deep ball a lot. And, that's his career helped him. He went to the Super Bowl twice, won a Super Bowl as well. He's an amazing player, of course. But Russell Wilson's a little older. He's playing with the Giants right now. I think he's kind of around that, high 20 range and quarterback rankings a little bit. So I got him at 22 on this list. Moving on to 21, I have Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold, of course, with the Seahawks now. Sam Darnold had that one good year last year with the Vikings. Now in the playoffs, it didn't turn out too well. He was a little shaky against the Rams. The Rams handled him, and he felt like he didn't belong there. I know it's his first playoff game, but he felt like he didn't belong there with the Vikings. But now he's with the Seahawks now, so we're going to see how things go. They went out there and got Cooper Kupp. They got Jackson Smith Najimba. Oh, I got it on the first try. They got him as well, JSN. And they got some talent over there. So we're going to see how things kind of go with that. I got him around that 21 range. I need to see more. I can't just say one season. Now, he was different. He was a rookie, and he played like that. And then this year, we probably have him higher. But we've seen him play. He's been in the league for a while. And he had that 1 year. It could be a fluke year. Or, because he had a good environment around him. Kind of like Case Keenum did with the Vikings. He had a good environment around him as well. Then he went to the Washington, and it didn't work out too well because it's a little different system and everything different. So we'll see how Darnold does. But hopefully it's not a fluke here. Hopefully he can go out there and ball out. And at 20, I have avoided because the number 19, I have two players at that spot. I'm going to get to that one right now. Okay, next is 19. Well, 19 to – wait, no. I messed up a little bit. Yeah, 19 to 20. No, 19 to – I was going to count. I was going to read them off. I think I messed the list thing up. I had it backwards. But at 19, we have Trevor Lawrence and Kyler Murray. That's why I have the 20 kind of voided out because I have two people at 19. I feel like those guys are guys who just had a lot of injuries. And a lot of being inconsistent as well. Trevor Lawrence, we know at one point, I feel like a few years back, when they got to the playoffs, when they came back against the Chargers in that big game, and he threw 4 interceptions, he came back and played well to help them kind of get back in there. And then they won that game. They went to play the Chiefs, and they fell short in the divisional round to the Chiefs by a little bit, but people had a lot of hope that year. We were like, okay, the Jaguars, they can build upon this season. They can kind of get there. And Trevor Lawrence, at one point, they was doing very good. Very good. And I think it was that terrible towel curse. That's a little joke Steelers fans have. And remember they played the game with the Steelers? He stole the towel, he threw it. And after that, everything went down bad. They went out there and they lost for the last 5 or 6 games. And then they lost the last game, which helped them miss the playoffs. And the Steelers got in the playoffs. And in this past season, they've been playing absolutely horrible football. Injuries with Trevor Lawrence, not playing well, and a lot of interceptions and turnovers, missed throws, miscommunication, all type of things that's been happening. So, yeah, Trevor Lawrence is kind of in that boat right there where he's like, he has potential, he has the arm and stuff, but just not consistent enough. Kyler Murray, same thing. We've seen the year where he was going out there. The Cardinals got to the playoffs finally with them. They lost that playoff game to the Rams, but people thought they at least can build upon it next season. They did have a collapse that season. Remember, it was undefeated, and the Packers beat them at the end of the game where, who was it? AJ Green. AJ Green turned around. Remember that pass it threw to him, and he didn't turn around. And then the Packers, I think Darnell Savage, intercepted the ball in the right corner of the end zone like that. AJ Green turned around. He said, Kyler Murray was throwing the ball to him, and they lost that game. They was undefeated. They started off 7-0, 8-0, and they lost that game and started losing a little few games. But they still made the playoffs, though. But after that season, I don't know what happened. Kyler Murray got injured and banged up the ACL tear, came back one year, and came back again, and then haven't really had a lot of consistent play like that. They had moments last year where they was actually on top of the division. It was tied in the division. Then they start losing games that matter. They lost to the Seahawks. You lose one to the Rams. You're like, okay, you're losing games that you should win. Like that, there's some games that you need to win like that, playing division games to keep yourself afloat to try to win the division and try to make the playoffs. And they messed up many times and missed the playoffs last season. So I feel like this year, like I mentioned, could be Kyler Murray's last year with the Cardinals. If everything kind of goes bad, I can see the Cardinals trying to trade him away because I don't think they would be like, okay, we're going to sit here again and try to hope for another thing, or we can go out there and try to get somebody else. So we'll see what happens. But I think Trevor Lawrence and Kyler Murray kind of in the same boat. That's why I have them in 19 spot together. They they have it in them. Of course, we've seen it before, but they're very inconsistent. They never bring it out like that, and the injuries don't help either. Moving on to 18, we got Bo Nix. Last year's rookie season was very good. Very good rookie season. Led the Broncos to the playoffs. First time since Peyton Manning was there. It was 2016. The last time they went to the playoffs was the year Peyton Manning was there, and they won a Super Bowl 50. And the following year, they had Trevor Siemian. They had all the different guys with Trevor Siemian. It was Paxton Lynch. It was all type of guys they had on their team as a quarterback, and they missed the playoffs that year. It was the playoffs the year after, and kept missing it. And finally, they found a quarterback in Bo Nix and got him here. And they had Russell Wilson experience a little bit. It didn't work out too well. But Bo Nix went out there and handled business. He played well with Sean Payton. Sean Payton wanted him. And he went out there and played some good football. He had some moments early on in the season. They start off a little shaky, but that's common because he's a rookie stepping into a new field. And as time went on, he played well. And, of course, the playoff game didn't go the way that they hoped. We're playing against the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen, of course, is very tough. But it is some stuff they can build upon. So I think Bo Nix might make a bigger jump this season, too. At 17, I have Tua Tagovailoa. Tua is a good player, but he's kind of in that same boat as the Herberts, Trevor Lawrence, and the Kyler Murrays. They just got to stay consistent, and the injuries do not help them as well. They're staying consistent and bringing it out to you full time. Of course, Tua at one point before, not this past season, the year before that, when the Chiefs was in the playoffs, when they was going out there balling out, that was a year. The Dolphins was in the playoffs. They were going out there balling out, and the Dolphins, they lost to the Chiefs in that little cold game they had. Of course, it was negative, 10 degrees or something in that game. But the Dolphins was doing pretty good that season. But they messed themselves up. They lost to the Bills the last game, and that right there was kind of a turning point. And that game been hunting them for the past 2 seasons, really. They lost that game, and they lost the division to the Bills, went to play the Chiefs, and the Chiefs beat them. And this season right here, they started off a little shaky, and then Tua got injured, and they was losing. But Tyler Huntley came out there. He won a few games for them, but it was losing. The Tua came back in on the play, and they lost some games that was close. A lot of one-score games. It came down to the wire. They should have won, but they lost. And then you look at, of course, the ending of the season like that. They tried to make a surge and stuff to keep going, and they lost a few games they shouldn't have lost, and it messed up, and they missed the playoffs, of course. So we'll see if Tua can stay healthy. That's the main thing about him, because we know he has the talent. He has the arm, the accuracy to go out there and make plays, of course. And maybe not to be the biggest quarterback, not the most athletic quarterback, but he definitely has the accuracy and some pretty good decision making most of the time. Not all the time, but most of the time to go out there and be a good quarterback to help his team get to the playoffs. But can they get over the hump and finally get there? And also, can they get over the hump when they get there and win the playoff game? They haven't won a playoff game since 2000 and like 2002 or something. It's been a long time. It's been a long time since the Dolphins won a playoff game. It's been like a very long time. So we'll see what happens. I also have Aaron Rodgers at 16. Aaron Rodgers is kind of in that same boat. Cause I had these guys. I think these are 16. Yeah, 16 is the last spot. Yeah, I had it right. Okay, 16 to 19 was the last spot right there. It's basically the need to make a statement type guys like that. Aaron Rodgers is another guy who can make a statement too. Because Aaron Rodgers, we know the last year he had, of course, not too bad. He did 28 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, or something like that. But we know we watched some of those games. A lot of those plays and stuff, of course, when they was playing behind or just playing behind a lot, they could never start off hot. Their offense was inconsistent. Aaron Rodgers having to come off Achilles tear and things are not going on fully and stuff. And now he's in a new situation with the Steelers. The Steelers have overloaded his team with Jonnu Smith and Jalen Ramsey, Darius Slay. They traded for DK Metcalf. All these different individuals they have added to this team. They're still trying to add more people to the team because they have $24 million left in cap space. So we could possibly see Aaron Rodgers having a big year this year, making a statement. Because he said, I don't want to end things like that. I mean, he mentioned that in the interview, I think last week. He was talking about how you want to end things differently. He said you want things to be differently. You want to end his career in a way like that. So now he's in Pittsburgh. We'll see if he can make a statement and get that done. But I have him at 16, though. Now moving on next is the 15 to 7 on tier list right there. So I'm going to dive into that one right now as well. Okay, guys. We have 15 through 7. This is my good tier list right here. We have 15, Dak Prescott. A lot of people put a lot of disrespect to Dak Prescott's name. He may not be the best quarterback, like a top 5 quarterback, but he's a good player. He's a good playmaker, and when he has the right pieces around him, we know he can go out there and make plays. I know last year he was injured, but before he got injured last year, he played his full season. He was an MVP candidate. He finished second. He was a second-team All-Pro as well. Dak Prescott was still able to get his team, of course, to the playoffs. Now, in the playoffs, it's a different story. We're doing playoff rankings of quarterbacks. He wouldn't be as high up. But Dak Prescott overall is a good quarterback. Can make a lot of plays and stuff as well. Now you got George Pickens over there. You have CeeDee Lamb still there. Your tight end room is very good as well. We'll see how things kind of go. They need a running back. I feel like they need more consistent running back play, but we'll see how things happen. But I think Dak Prescott is definitely top 15 quarterback. At 14, I have Geno Smith. Geno Smith, ever since he said that statement, he said they tried to write me off. I didn't write back. I remember that game against the I think it was the year he first played with the Seahawks. So he was a Seahawks starter when Russell Wilson got traded to the Broncos. And Geno Smith had never looked back ever since he got to Seattle. He went out there and balled out. And now he's back with his old coach, Pete Carroll, with the Raiders now in Las Vegas. So he should do well. I think Geno Smith is a good player. He's one of those guys who, he's not elite, but he's not bad either. But he's just good. He's just good. You play him for 12 games, he'll probably help you win 8 games like that. He's one of those type of guys. He's a very good player. At times he had moments where he clutched and stuff as well. He might not be a Super Bowl level quarterback, but you're going out there and win a Super Bowl with him. But right pieces around you never know. We've seen some things happen before in the league like that. But he's one of those guys who you can definitely trust. I was hoping my Steelers went out there and got Geno Smith. But I'm happy with Rodgers too as well. But Geno Smith would have been cool, I feel like, because he would fit perfectly. He's the guy who you can just put anywhere and you go out there and play because his mentality. But Geno Smith, I got him at number 14. At 13, I got Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield was a baller. I used to be a Baker Mayfield hater. And not because of his play, but because of the attitude a little bit, the arrogance. Now, of course, a lot of quarterbacks are arrogant, but he's a little more just frat boy. It's a little I really like Baker Mayfield like that. And plus, he was a Brown for a long time as well. So, Steelers-Browns rivalry like that. So I didn't really like Baker Mayfield. But once he left, I seen his journey. Seen with the Panthers, didn't work out too well. Then he got to the Rams. And hit that game he had where he went out there. He only had he was only there for a day or so. He didn't know the playbook. He went out there and played and helped them come back and win that game. He was throwing those beautiful passes. Baker Mayfield got that fast little release like that, a jump release, throwing that right there. Made a lot of big time plays in that game. And then also when he got to the Buccaneers, he went out there and handled business, got to the playoffs back-to-back years so far. So Baker Mayfield has been playing some good football. I think he's a nice player. They fell short, of course, in the playoffs this past season because they played the Commanders, and it came down to the wire, of course. But Baker Mayfield's a good player. He's a good quarterback. He's going to be there for a while for the Buccaneers, and he's going to lead them, I don't know about the Super Bowl, but he could definitely lead them to something. At 12, you got Jordan Love. Jordan Love, I think he's a good player as well. Turnovers were a little higher last year, but he's still a good player overall. I think number 12. I like his ability to be clutch. And in the clutch moments, Jordan Love do show up and show out, of course, as well. And he has won playoff games for his team as well, his tenure as the Packers quarterback. Which leads me to number 11, which is Justin Herbert. The reason I had Herbert at 11 and not the top 10, I seen some lists where people had Justin Herbert as 7 or 8. I feel like he's one of those guys who kind of like Trevor Lawrence, Kyler Murray, the Tuas, the guys who have it all. Have the gifts and stuff, of course, or the weapons around him, but they just always seem to mess it up. Justin Herbert has still not won a playoff game yet. Jordan Love, he was on the bench for a while. He can have a playoff wins like that. He was on the bench for a while. Then you look at different guys who have on the list. I have Brock Purdy at number 10. Brock Purdy played 3 years so far. He's been to the NFC Championship game. He's been to the Super Bowl as well. Last year was a little different because of the injuries that happened, but he still played pretty solidly. I think Justin Herbert is a guy who has all the intangibles, the height, the arm, everything, but just don't seem to put it together all the time. That's why I'm at 11. I can't put him in the top 10 because I just don't trust him as much, especially in the playoffs. CJ Stroud has beaten him. He had a playoff game where he was leading. It was 27-0, and they blew the lead like that. It's just like different things that keep happening, of course, to him as well. So hopefully he can get things kind of like figured out and stuff. But he's a top-level quarterback. He can definitely be a quarterback if he can just stay consistent throughout the year and bring out his full potential and be in full confidence. He can definitely be a top-5 quarterback, MVP candidate probably. But just like in the moments where you need him, the clutch moments. Because, of course, you can have good numbers and good stats and accuracies and all that, but when it matters the most, when it's the clutch moments, you got to go out there and have a drive to win it or something to go out there and make a big-time play, he seemed to fall short a lot of times. So hopefully he can change that. But at 10, I got Brock Purdy, like I mentioned. At 9, I got Jared Goff. He's a pretty good player as well. Jared Goff led the Lions to the NFC Championship game before. Last year, they was the first seed. He did a very good job, but the injuries on the defense kind of hurt them a lot. And in that playoff game, the Commanders just walked them down like that in that game. But Jared Goff, I still feel like he's a top 10 quarterback. He's still very consistent enough and still make a lot of plays, of course. And then at 8, I have CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud had a slump last year. But he still was able to get his team to the playoffs, even with the slump and the injuries that happened too. He had some of his receivers got injured. Stephon Diggs went down with the injury. Tank Dell, it was Tank Dell, Nico Collins. It was Tank Dell who broke his leg in the end zone. All different things. He had injuries around him, of course, going on, but still was able to lead them to 10-7 record. And not only in the playoffs, but go out there and dominate in the playoffs, and then win that first game. And then the second game, they could have got to the championship game. There's a little shaky calls in that game. We know that Chiefs game versus the Texans was a little shaky. The Chiefs could have got defeated by the Texans in that game. There's some things that was happening. It was a very low-score game. The CJ Stroud and them was playing their hardest, but there's some things that happened a little shaky, like some little phantom roughing the passer calls that was called. But it's a story for a different time. But CJ Stroud, I feel like he's still a very good quarterback. Because last year, having a slump, but still going out there and performing in clutch situations when you need them to. When his team was looking, they're like, oh, they're going to miss the playoffs maybe because he's not playing too well. He started going to surge, start playing better football. So I think he's definitely top 10. And number 7, Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford might be older. He's like 37, 38, but still showing you the clutch ability to go out there and make plays and get things done. Matthew Stafford is a good quarterback. He can make a lot of plays. You've seen what he did in the playoffs last year. They won the first playoff game against the Vikings. That was on the road. And then they went to – no, it was at home, right? Was it at home? Yeah, it was at home. It was at home. Then they went to play the Eagles, and they fell short. It came down to the last play, like literally the last play. They was playing some good football. Matthew Stafford was delivering, making plays. I still feel like he's a guy who can definitely – you can still build around to try to contend to reach the Super Bowl again like that. Because it was only a few years back when they won the Super Bowl. So I feel like they have the right roster around and they can definitely try to do that, especially with Sean McVay calling the plays. But that's my 15 through 7. Now let me dive into, of course, the last part of the list, which is the elite tier, and that's 6 through 1. Okay, this is the last part of my tier list, my rankings on 6 through 1. And number 6, we got Jaden Daniels, a rookie to lead his team. The team like the Commanders. So the Commanders team was a team that was like still rebuilding, and we did not expect them to be in the playoffs. We knew Jaden Daniels had talent, like I mentioned before. You go back to my video and watch it, don't believe me. I was saying Jaden Daniels, I feel like he'll be the best at the quarterbacks because he played the most games. I feel like he played the most games in college and had the most experience and play time. You look at his play style. But I didn't think the Commanders were going to be in the playoffs. I thought maybe they'd probably win 7 games or something where you see, okay, you can build upon it. He went out there and balled out with the Commanders and played some very, very good football. Got into the NFC Championship game and just played phenomenal as a rookie too. So it was one game away from making the Super Bowl as a rookie. So I think he's going to definitely be a top 6 quarterback entering 2025. And then number 5, I have Jalen Hurts. He won a Super Bowl MVP, 221 passing yards in the Super Bowl, 2 touchdown passes, 75 rushing yards in the Super Bowl as well. He played very good football in the Super Bowl and went out there and handled business, of course. And Jalen Hurts, the Super Bowl MVP, a guy who won the Super Bowl, and he's one of the focal points of them winning the Super Bowl. I think he got to be top 5. And 4, I got Joe Burrow. I know Joe Burrow, people keep living off of that Super Bowl run he had a few years back. which is cool. But I feel like Joe Burrow just got to make sure they start off faster. You can't start off slow. Like, he's starting the season off slow. They like the first 4 games, they be 0-4, trying to make a surge and stuff. But you can't have a comeback story every season. So how about you just start off better? And I feel like he could be a top-level quarterback. I feel like he could definitely be an MVP candidate. They do that as well. Because last year he could have been an MVP candidate. He has some very good stats, very good numbers. But you got to win the games. You got to win the games like that. And they missed a lot of games up. So we'll see how things shape out this year. At the 3rd spot is voided out because I have 2 people at this 2 spot. There's Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. Josh Allen is coming off of the MVP season. I feel like Lamar should have won the MVP, but here's Josh Allen. So Josh Allen is MVP. Coming off MVP year. Lamar Jackson throwing 41 touchdowns last year, having the best passer rating in the NFL last year, and also rushing for like 900 yards as well with 4,000 passing yards, which is absolutely crazy. That's some Madden numbers. I got both of them tied up at the 2 spot. They both right there is neck and neck. Top level quarterbacks, elite level quarterbacks. You know, guys who get their team to the AFC Championship game a few times in their 10 years so far, and still have yet to get to the Super Bowl though, because of a lot of things that's kind of blocking them. You know, maybe each other or a man named Patrick Mahomes, who is number 1, of course. But yeah, this is my top 6 right here, and basically my full list right here too as well. We got Mahomes at 1. Lamar and Josh Allen at 2, so avoid out the 3rd spot. And then 4, I got Burrow, 5, I got Hurts, and then 6, I got Jaden Daniels. And you guys know the rest. I'm going to read through all of them. But this is all I have for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, like and subscribe for more content. Let me know down below what you guys think about the tier list and the rankings from the top 32 quarterbacks who are starting. Let me know who you changed around. Let me know if you agree with something or disagree with something. Leave down below in the comment section down below. And I'll see you guys probably tonight. If this video is uploaded to today, I'm making it on Saturday, so the video uploads to Saturday, then I'll probably see you guys later tonight for a double blow or maybe tomorrow. But you guys see me when you see it. Peace.